Yeah. So I'm like, hey, thanks for smiling. So I felt like you had like a strong face or something like that. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes,
And then you're like,
from the rain.
yeah.
Hush! What comes in smiling from the rain?
Right. So now, could that? Some people will say I'm being proactive. I don't necessarily think I'm proactive with that too. I feel like it's my personality.
I honestly think it's your personality.
People give themselves unnecessary stupid credit.
Accolades. Where's my accolade?
They don't factor in that this is just your personality. Now it's cool that if she appreciates that, it's cool that she can appreciate that. I keep doing it. Mm-hmm. But I can also be giving myself unnecessary amount of credit when I try to compare it against her. Right? So there's this inaccurate comparison that's always going on with people that diminishes intimacy, right? When you focus on trying to keep this competition thing, right? When you use creating intimacy in your marriage, husband and wife. Let me just read this quote. No one is perfect. We all have quirks, habits, and tics that our partners don't necessarily appreciate. Do we? Shall we?
Don't get me started.
All right, so as I was saying,
I said don't get me started.
You said don't get you started.
On the quirks and habits and tics.
What is quirks?
I don't know. I've never heard quirks.
It's big words, man.
No, habits and I know tics. You know what ticks you off about your partner.
Yep. So, and yet, these are the things that make us who we are. So how do you maintain a healthy relationship in a marriage? How do you balance your own needs with those of your partner? So we know that intimacy obviously starts before the bedroom.
Way before.
Before the other room.
Way before.
As we say.
You mean as your president says in Nigeria?
Somebody said.
Okay.
You know, I've been
no, as we say.
I told you I got roasted on the other channel. And one of the roasts said, this is a dumbass Nigerian person who said, just come and disgrace us Nigerians like Buhari.
Oh my God, that is terrible. And
I have to be able to make fun of myself to do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have to.
Yeah. You
have to be able to laugh at yourself. That's the only way that you're not gonna be really hurt.
Yeah. So how do you maintain a healthy? So basically, intimacy starts way before the other room. That means the bedroom. Okay. And so creating intimacy in your marriage, both husband and wife. So I wanted us to talk about this because people want to talk about sex so soon.
Right.
Without worrying about intimacy. To you, what is intimacy?
Intimacy to me is you being connected with me.
What does that mean? You say that all the time.
Because for me, connection is a big deal.
No, I said, what does connection mean? You use the word again.
Yeah, because you said I say it all the time. And I have to emphasize why I say it all the time. If we're not on the same frequency, we're not, bonded in the same way, checking in with me, I'm checking in with you.
So what does checking in? So let me not worry about my side. When you check in with me, what does that look like?
Making sure you're okay. You wanna hang
so
out.
I know you make sure I'm okay.
Yeah.
All the time. But I'm not sure. I feel like overall you make sure I'm okay, right?
Yes.
But when you proactively try to make sure I'm okay, what does that look like? So there's a lot of passive making sure I'm okay.
Like being there if you need me. I mean, if you are
that's
down
passive.
there.
So it takes me appreciating that to make that a thing, because some people don't appreciate that. Some people wait for you to proactively come and say, "Are you okay?" Right? Whereas, which is bad. It's terrible because honestly, there's a lot more than what people are saying. It's people's actions.
Yeah, you have to be able to read,
right.
read a little bit into people's moods. You should know.
Yeah. So I may say randomly 2 weeks ago, I like that sneakers. Where's my version of it? Right? I'm just joking. honestly, honest to God, right? And then the next thing shows up in the mail 3 weeks later. There's a sneakers in the mail. Even though gift is not really my love language, right? It's more so about the fact that you paid attention at that time, right? Then there's also things like I come upstairs at 7 p.m. and there's a full-blown pot of jollof rice. Things like that, right? That's passive, making sure I'm okay. Because that's jollof rice, not just for my babies, right? It's for inclusive of me, right? So there's a lot of things like that, right? That are passive, making sure I'm okay. All those kind of things is what I consider intimacy, by the way, personally. Right. But back to what we were saying, when you say you make sure that I'm okay, now there is the proactively, are you okay? Which I overdo on my side.
Yes,
I may like when you came in this morning.
Are you okay?
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, thanks for smiling. I felt like you had like a strong face or something like that. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes,
and then you're like,
from the rain.
Yeah.
Hush! What comes in smiling from the rain?
Right. So now, could that? Some people will say I'm being proactive. I don't necessarily think I'm proactive with that too. I feel like it's my personality.
I honestly think it's your personality.
People give themselves unnecessary stupid credit.
Accolades. Where's my accolade?
They don't factor in that this is just your personality. It's now it's cool that if she appreciates that, it's cool that she can appreciate that. I keep doing it. But I can also be giving myself unnecessary amount of credit when I try to compare it against her. Right? So there's this inaccurate comparison that's always going on with people that diminishes intimacy, right? When you focus on trying to keep this competition thing, right? When you use the phrase 50-50, 100-100, that's competition. Right. As far as I'm concerned, it's not about the words. I get where they're coming from. Make sure everybody show up 100% into the relationship. Right. I get it. I completely get it.
But doing too much.
But I'm reading beyond what you're saying. I'm going beyond that. What is it about your personality that love the idea when your pastor preached 100 that you just kind of hooked up on it and like, yeah, I'm gonna go home and tell him everyone should be bringing 100 of what? Is it 100 of your idea, 100 of his idea, hundreds of the social media idea of what the perfect relationship look like? Because a lot of people's idea of social media a lot of people's idea of relationship on social media is completely stupid, which is why they struggle with dating.
It's off.
Right?
Totally off.
Completely off. Right? So 100% of what are we talking about? 50% of what we're talking about. So when I even want to say, if even me, I want to compete with them, you know what I say? I said, no. Forget that 100 stuff. I'll bring 200. I bring my 200. I bring her 200 because you know what I know about feminine energy? She will turn it to 400. That makes it 600. Meaning I focus on just me, what I'm going to give into the relationship.
Right.
Even at that, it's not always enough because we're humans. Right? So there's going to be tough conversations sometimes. Yeah. There's going to be, my feelings sometimes. There's going to be all of these different things. But when you don't expect what I just described, that's called unrealistic expectations. Yeah. So unrealistic expectations, lack of intimacy. Focus on giving, intimacy.
For me, you know how I am. I can be extremely zen sometimes. Mm-hmm. And when I'm zen and you're like, are you okay? Dude, can I just be in my own space? I'm good. It's part of my personality.
That's your personality. Yeah, it's my personality. So as much as she even make I'm me. I stay me without obviously being overly encroaching your space when you need to be zen, right?
Yeah.
But some people, for me, it's not a big deal because what that does, I like space too. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize I like space for a long time.
I didn't space in here.
Yeah. I didn't realize that I love it, but I also spend a lot of time in the studio, in the office, right? So I get that space.
Somebody come into your living room and start screaming, and that's when you know that,
exactly.
I like my space. Like, where you going?
So there's multiple moving variables. Just being aware that there are multiple moving variables will allow you to be a lot more patient with your partner. And when you're a lot more patient with your partner, that's effectively given to him or her. And that helps build, that's the foundation for intimacy, because they feel understood, they feel heard, they feel seen, right? And the feelings is the key word.
I think it's one thing that our parents, I would say, maybe they've mastered a little bit. They would say, "Oh, that's just your dad. That's how he is." Or that's your mom.
Say that.
That's just his personality, you know.
They say that, but because they didn't use the word boundary, we don't pay attention.
Like they just understand each other and like, oh, she's just.
I said on Clubhouse earlier, I said disingenuous. Some chick called me already with that. I can't do disingenuous anymore. Can you please? Like she was just triggered by the word, because everybody, like, people talk so much, and now we have to pick words and break down the words because some of those words now carry different meanings. Because somebody is saying boundary and they mean something else differently. They mean no tolerance.
Oh my goodness!
It's a struggle.
It is a struggle.
That's why we're having this long ass conversations to unpack the words. Right?
We are the talking generation. Okay. I'm still trying to catch up with y'all. Like, I'm a late bloomer when it comes to that. I'm like, what are they talking about? They call
the generation before us silent generation. Nowadays are the talkative generation.
Absolutely.
Not too much.
There's no balance.
Yeah.
There's no balance.
Like, come on. Yeah. Anyway.